All right, in today's video, I wanted to share with you a question, or actually a series of questions that I received from one of my investment partners who is in the 6 and 20 program. Clearly, I think maybe they've been talking to some friends and family, and they came back with a bunch of questions, and really questions around how can I, sort of share with my friends and family, that this is a good program. So thought I'd just go through the questions, sort of individually talk about them. Actually added a couple more because I think there was sort of a question behind the question, if you know what I mean. But before I do that, do me a favor. First, thanks for clicking on this link. But really do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave questions or comments below because it does matter. I'm a one-man show here, so know that when you leave a question or comment below, when it gets replied to, it is me. It's not some virtual team or someone else. And lastly, if you haven't got a copy of the 15-year journey from one house to 175 units in financial freedom, make sure you send me an email, and I'd gladly send that to you. It's a book I wrote. Hopefully, just inspires you to know that rental properties is the way to go. So with that, let's review the questions I got from one of my investment partners. So again, right, got a question, actually a series of questions from somebody who's already in the program, already in first position on a property that I'm spending roughly $40,000 on the remodel and actually already have sold once it's rented. So I wanted to go through that just because, questions come in all forms and I just wanted to, always be upfront and share with you what's going on. We'll go through each question sort of in series and sort of talk about them in their different phases and different chunks. And again, I think I added some because I think what they were hearing was really a question behind a question. So I wanted to make sure we addressed really what was on the table. So the first question is, what would you say to someone who thinks it's very risky for me to be your investment partner? Right? I could just imagine, this individual sitting down at dinner or talking to their family or friends and just really excited, right? I did this and, I'm looking for a return and, this guy in California, is my investment partner and, I'm going to get, 6% now and 20% later. And I can just imagine somebody being excited and then, one of their friends go, oh my gosh, what are you doing? I mean, I can just imagine the questions that they may have been peppered with. And, I feel bad for them. So first and foremost, if you spent any time looking at my program, there's I don't know, probably a dozen videos on it here. Make sure you do that because as hopefully you'll see, I've gone above and beyond, in this program to make sure that any of my investment partners are nearly at no risk. In fact, I'm at more risk than they are, right? I buy a distressed asset. They only come in for that amount. I spend all this extra money on the repairs, again, mine. Obviously hoping to get a profit. So before an investment partner was impacted at all, right, I would have to lose the profit. I would have to lose all the repair money, and then they're at risk. So it's extremely secure. Again, right, so just put some numbers around it, right? My investment partners are in first position. I never do a second. They're only in for the purchase price, which is obviously a distressed price. I again fund all of the repairs afterwards. I never take a second. I don't, take multiple, or I don't pool lenders, right? So it's not like two people are on one property. I do everything I can to make sure it's straightforward. So far, all the loans we've done really are 60% or better than loan to value. What they call ARV, after repair value. So again, very secure positions. They're leased properties, so the lease amount is much more than any mortgage payment I'm making. Hold times are sub 6 months, and thus far all the annualized returns have been north of 20%. So very secure position, very solid returns. But again, I can imagine why somebody thinks this is risky. Maybe somebody got burnt by the 2008 crash or whatever. So you've got to be respectful and appreciate where people are coming from. So again, watch the videos, see the before and after, see the actuals, and then let me know if you have any questions. Question 2 is, why don't you go to the bank and get some low rate financing, right? It's, you're giving away, in this case, 20% of the profit. Why wouldn't you just go to a bank? Well, again, this is probably coming from someone who doesn't know really what I'm doing, right? These slumlord properties I get, they're not going to be financed by a bank, right? These are only going to be done with cash purchases, which is how I buy them and why I get a discounted price, because I can pay cash. No bank will loan on these, right? These are you can maybe go to a hard money lender or something like that, but no bank is going to give you a 30-year mortgage on a property that needs $50,000 in repairs. It's just not going to happen. Again, right? So I'm buying these slumlord properties for cash. I then go back and get my cash back via this refinance with my investment partners. I then spend 40 to 50K of my own money across each of the repairs. Obviously, there's profit on top of that. And then we sell to an end user or an end buyer who absolutely will get bank financing, right? I'm taking an asset that won't qualify and then, spending the required, doing all the repairs and then some, and then letting a buyer come in with bank financing, getting a 30-year loan, getting a low risk, pride of ownership rental. And frankly, everyone is happy. The neighborhood's happy, the county's happy, banks are happy, investors are happy, my investment partners are happy, and of course, I'm happy, not to mention the tenants as well. So that's really why you can't get bank financing. They're just, in the beginning, no bank would lend on them. The other question I think was there, it wasn't in the email, but I'm going to put it out here anyways. Hey, Michael, you have a decent pile of cash, whatever it is. Why don't you just use your own cash and don't have an investment partner? Why save 20% of the profit? What are you doing, you silly man? Well, I certainly could do that. I could probably do that to the tune of 3 or 4 properties at a time. These properties usually are held for between 3 and 5 months. So, I get 3 going and then I'm sort of tied up for a while. And that's not okay with me, right? I could do a lot more than 3 or 4 at a time. Like right now we have, I think it's between 12 and 14 in different stages, from one I just bought today to 3 or 4 that are in escrow to sell, not to mention the one are in various stages of being repaired. So, but because we've created this program, I can just help a lot more people. I can do a lot more good for the community, a lot more good for tenants. And that's why I don't restrict myself to only 3 or 4. In addition, also, as you've hopefully seen, I like helping people. And, I have some friends that always come to me going, hey, I don't trust the stock market. I think it's set to fall. Can I lend you some money and be your partner? And, if I can do a deal and still make my required amount and I can still reward a friend or family, it's just a good feeling, right? So, again, I could do more deals. It's no question, right? I'm not kidding myself, but also it's nice to help other people as well. Lastly, I wanted to talk about here was, I expect to close, and they should get their profit share just before Christmas. I'm saying right around December 15th is what I was telling them. So question number 5, now it's like, okay, great. This feels like it's going to work. I believe in it, right? I was a little nervous to begin with, but I believe in it. This is all from my IRA, so let's just keep going was essentially the thing. So can we do it again? Again, I'm happy to repeat the program with my friends and family or investors. But again, I don't necessarily assume anything. I would never assume that, hey, just because it worked once, you want to do it again. So I'll be discussing next steps with my investors once everything's closed and paid off. They've got their money, they got their check plus their profit. Then we'll talk about what's next. I just think that's the right thing to do. I don't like putting the cart before the horse. I think that's just bad juju, bad karma, bad form. So as always, wrapping up, remember, it's really important if you subscribe to the channel. I put out several videos a week. I'm going to continue to do that. Again, I'm a one-man show, so it's all for me. It's nice to see the uptick in subscribers. It really means that there's value being had. Also, leave questions and comments. As you can see, a lot of the videos I do are really sparked from questions I get from y'all. So leave questions below or comments. It's always appreciated. And as always, go ahead and like the video or share with your network. The more people that sort of click that like button, I'm guessing Facebook has some algorithm and it rises in status or whatever. So any likes and comments is always appreciated. All right, so we're up to 230 subscribers. Hopefully this video sparks a few more of you to subscribe and share with your friends. Just made the 10-minute cutoff, which is always a target of mine. So in the end, have a great day and all the best.